Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm missing you, and I'm going to go ahead and go over some clock information with you because this week you are going to be learning how to tell time on an analog clock. Now, sometimes you might see a digital clock, which is a lot of times what we used to have in the classrooms, but now we have something called an analog clock. And this week, attached to your work, I have put a small clock for you, our Judy clock, and that will help you with your assignments this week to learn how to tell time using an analog clock. So I have the big Judy clock, which is what I would be using if we were all together. But today I'm going to go over Judy virtually. And I apologize because I'm noticing that the numbers are backwards. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll try and work with what we've got. All right, so the first thing I want you to know is that if you see this small, the small gadget here is for your hours. The small hand, excuse me, is for the hours. And the larger hand is for the minutes, okay? And if you remember, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And each of the minutes we can talk about in increments of 5. So for every 5 minutes, our big hand is going to move. Okay, so let's say we have our clock set at 11. All right, if I move it 5 minutes, now it's 11:05 or 5 minutes past 11. And I can do this going all the way around the clock. At the 2, it's going to be 11:10, 11:15, 11:20, 11:25, 11:30. Now, when I get to 11:30, I want you to notice what is happening with the small hand. The small hand is also moving because the small hand is getting ready to go to the next hour as the big hand moves every 5 minutes. Okay, so here we have 11:30. Now we have 11:35, 11:40, 11:45, 11:50, 11:55, and now we have 12. That can be 12 noon or 12 midnight, depending on what time of the day you're talking about. If it's 12 midnight, we would say 12 a.m. actually. That's kind of interesting. And if it's 12 in the afternoon, it would be 12 p.m. Okay. AM is for morning time before noon, and PM is for afternoon, okay, after the time of 12 o'clock, okay? So when we are talking about time, we can say it 2 different ways, okay? So now we're on 12. We could say it is 12:05, or we could say it is 5 minutes past 12, okay? And you can do that all the way till you get to the 12:30. You could say it is 12:30 or 30 minutes past 12. Now, when you pass the 30-minute mark and you get to the 12:35, most of the time you're not going to say it is 35 minutes past 12. What you're going to do, and this is a little tricky, this takes a little bit of practice, so don't get nervous about this because you're going to be spending a lot of time. And when you get to 3rd grade, you'll be going over clocks again. I know this is a really rushed lesson, but it's going to be gone over again. This is just to introduce you, to get you used to telling time. Some of you may already know how to tell time on an analog clock, and that's awesome. Those of you that don't know, no worries. Next year, when you're in 3rd grade, Coach will be spending more time on clocks, okay? All right, so back to this. All right, so if we have 12:35, now this is why it gets a little complicated. Normally you would say it's 12:35 or it's 25 minutes to 1, okay? Because 1 o'clock is going to be our next hour after 12, okay, as we're going around on the clock. And if I count and I say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, that's where I'm getting the 25 minutes before 1 o'clock. Okay, So again, I know that's a little bit confusing. You're going to see some of that in a couple of your exercises. That's why I wanted to go over it. And actually, to tell you the truth, they're actually going to do it a little bit higher. So let's say we have 12:45. Again, notice this, the hour hand is getting closer to the 1 o'clock because we're almost there, okay? At 12:45, you're only 15 minutes away from 1 o'clock, okay? So now here, you would say it's 12:45, or you would say it is 15 minutes before 1 o'clock. You would not say it is 45 minutes past 12. That's usually not something that's said. If you do say it, it's not that you're incorrect. It's just that I want you to know the different ways people will say things so that you can recognize how to tell time, okay? Some people still have a hard time. If you see my clock up there, that's the clock that we have in our classrooms now. And some people, even the older students, still have a hard time telling exactly what time it is because we're so used to digital clocks, okay? So this just kind of helps you out with, you know, if you happen to have, or maybe your grandparents have a really beautiful grandfather clock. Most of those, well, all of those are called analog clocks. So to be able to tell time on those, that's really cool, okay? All right, so that is our Judy clock. So I was right here at the 12:45 mark. Now, how did I know it was 15 minutes before 1? Well, I just counted by fives, okay? Each one of these is by fives. So I have 5, 10, 15. It's 15 minutes before 1 o'clock. All right, now I'm going to move the big hand up. Watch what happens to the little hand. Did you see that? And there you go. It is now 1 o'clock. Okay? And 1 o'clock can be AM or PM depending on, you know, is it nighttime early in the morning or is it daytime? We should be in school, right? Okay. Now, before I go on with the clock, I wanted to show you real quick in your homework packet this week, I have included this information for you to look at with your moms and dads, your grandmas and grandpas, okay? And it gives you a really good background on clocks and how to tell time and how to say the time. So remember when I was saying, like right here, if you look at this one is 9:15, okay? And so you would say either 9:15, or you can also say it's 15 minutes past 9. Now, when I come down here at the very end, it says this is 9:45, and then you say it is 15 minutes to 10. Okay, just like I was showing you on the Judy clock, this is how you would say it. Again, if you say it's 45 minutes past 9 o'clock, it's not that you're wrong. It's just that most people don't say it that way. Okay? But again, if you say it that way, you're not wrong. You're perfectly fine. Okay? As you're going through and looking at these, you will see they'll give you different times, okay? And you can go through and write these down on here to kind of practice before you do your workbook exercises, okay? Some of these are kind of fun. Here's a family out about on their day and what they do during the day, okay? Obviously, some of these things are going to give you clues, like here's the sun waking up in the morning at 6 a.m. Haven't done that in a long time. I don't know about you guys, but it's been a while since I've gotten up at 6 a.m. And when I was coming to school, I didn't get up at 6 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m. because I had so much to do to get ready to come here in the morning. Okay? So it just kind of goes through this little boy's morning, actually. So at 6:05 or 5 minutes after 6, he's brushing his teeth. At 6:20, he is sitting down to his breakfast. Now this one you could say at 6:45 or 15 minutes before 7 o'clock. He looks like he's got his backpack on and he's going to the bus. And then at 7:15 or 15 minutes past 7, he arrives at school. And by 7:50 or 10 minutes to 8, he's sitting down at his desk ready for school. So this is kind of a fun thing to go through and just kind of look at. Like I said, I sent the clock so you can play around with those. Maybe mom or dad or grandma or grandpa could give you some clock times form on your clock, okay? And that really, really helps get used to using the analog clock, okay? Here are just some more clock times and, just scenarios of people just doing things in their normal day and what time they do it at, okay? What time do they start something and what time does it end, okay? All of these things just to help you out, to help you get used to using the analog clock, okay? So again, you have a mini Judy that I sent home this week. You'll be using that for the next 2 weeks. Because next week I'll have a couple more of assignments for you to do with your Judy clock. So please don't lose them. Hang on to them so that we'll have them for the fall when everybody comes back, because I know that's what's going to happen. And but just use your Judy clock. Have fun. Right? Don't get stressed out. It's okay. When we're in class, all of my classes have always had fun at this time of the year when we bring Judy out and we start learning how to tell time. We have a good time doing it. I'm sorry that we're not here together so that I can teach this to you, but I know you're going to do a wonderful job. If you have any questions or if Mommy or Daddy have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And otherwise, good luck, have fun telling time, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.